Good afternoon. I thought I would share a little bit of what I'm able to do in Canvas. I've been using Canvas for approximately 5 years. It's the LMS that I'm using with the school district in which I teach. I also have experience working at West Virginia University within the Blackboard learning management system. I have past experiences using Moodle and Schoology, as well as this little remote e-backpack that we used to operate at my district in which I teach, which is Elizabeth Forward. So without further ado, I will share with you my Canvas content that I work on a daily basis. So I have taken you into my dashboard, and here you will see my dashboard for the courses that I currently teach. I am responsible for teaching multimedia productions, print media productions. I turn out a $40,000 yearbook publication. And then I'm also the choral director, so I have a very interesting artistic background that I can bring into learning management systems. And one really great selling feature that I currently have is I'm working on my dissertation. And my dissertation is about moving performance-based arts classes to the online environment during the COVID pandemic, what the teachers needed, what they feel future training could be to make them more successful, and how it changed our relationships with our students. But let me show you a little about what I do. Of course, I have my first and second period classes into one Canvas course so that the students can interact. Here's my landing page. My syllabus is there, my contact information, my teacher website, as well as my personal website is linked. If I click here, it'll take you out to my personal website that I'll include on my resume. And I am an Apple teacher, and I don't have my Google badge up, but I am Google Classroom certified as well. And here's a shortcut to get to my learning modules. So I like to work in module view personally. I think it keeps the kids organized as to where they're at. So here are the modules that I've launched so far this year within my classroom. So I started the year with an introduction to Premiere. It's a very, very short, brief module because the first thing I needed the students to do was to be literate within Premiere, because I produce the morning announcements and they need to be able to do post-production. So very simple, easy module, not many things to it. I took a video, great crash course on Premiere, why remake something if there's someone out there willing to share. As an Adobe educator, I share Adobe lessons with educators from around the globe. After that, I have them go into what the outcomes what the outcomes are for their project. So here we see another video that I borrowed from yet another Adobe educator, and I put the parameters for the assignment at the top. Yes, there was some in-class teaching that had to happen, lifetime teaching, that was also deployed out via Zoom in lifetime to get the students familiar with the workspace between steps 1 and 2 in this blended environment that we're currently operating in. And you can see there's my requirements for my lesson. And then finally, I have Badger set up. It's not currently set up in this module, but I linked Badger so that my students could start accumulating their badges every time they finish one of my modules that they have. Another thing I did with my students, which was great, this is a much more in-depth module, as you see, but I had them all create their own digital portfolio using Wix from Google, so that they are putting all of their projects in there. And when they go to apply for scholarships, and if they decide to go into multimedia or video production, audio production after high school, they already have a digital portfolio to send out to potential schools, or even if they decide to just start working right out of high school, they can show people what they're capable of doing. So there's a very long, I did not deploy the badge on this one. It's been a more interesting year. Audio soundscape, another great one where the students walked step by step, and using proper ADDIE and development, the students start with a start here. It gives them a sample soundscape that I made. A soundscape is like a collection of sound files that tell a story that they're not allowed to use words, and the other students had to guess. So I start with my start here. I identify what the learning activities are for the students. Once again, sticking with sound pedagogical foundations. I tell them what their assignment is for a soundboard. There's an external link that they get that, and to keep them organized, I try to keep the students using Google storage space in the workplace as much as possible, because students need to learn about naming files and how to properly manage all of their data so that they are more successful in not losing files. And then I go into another step of how to collect their artifacts for their publication and what they needed to do. And then I showed them how to get started. I let them use GarageBand. They could also use Adobe Premiere. I chose either because some students are operating in hybrid and we are a one-to-one iPad initiative, and Adobe Premiere is only available in school on my laptop lab for my students to use. I could add a rubric. I don't currently have one. And then I have a game that they play to guess the story for each other at the end. And then I go to the next step. What is coming up? What are we doing? And it's they created an audio compilation, and the next module is all about their iPads. So then when they go to the next module, we fall into, after our badge, we fall into, pardon my clock, the module that we just finished coming into Christmas vacation, holiday break. And this was all about using the iWork suite for the iPads, because some students have not utilized that. So I walk them through 5 different activities that gets them to use that. And once again, I start with the start here, which is proper pedagogy, and the learning activities are identified. And then I go into step-by-step directions along with a video on how to use each one of the applications available within the iWork suite, so that they are better acquainted with their iPads. But that's a little of what I do inside of Canvas on a daily basis. I'm pretty handy dandy. I've set up my own LTIs. I was one of the pilot teachers in the district when we moved over to Canvas several years ago. So before they locked it down, I was able to play in the LTIs and in the settings and really customize what I wanted it to look like for my students. I love putting up the photo banners at the top because it helps my kids stay organized on what class. And I think part of the importance, if I may, on my soapbox, is that you have a unified shell. Part of what I do at West Virginia University is I deploy a unified shell within Blackboard so that everything looks the same. So if I'm a student first year, if I'm a graduate student, I know what to expect within my modules, within my learning environment. And I think that is essential to roll out Canvas in any district and or university, that you really get in there and you get a unified kickoff, that everybody's on the same page, looking at a module view that's agreed upon by your ID and your administration, and then deployed to your teachers. So this is a little what I can do within Canvas. And if I'm what you're looking for, I would love the opportunity to work more with developing school districts and rolling out platforms for Canvas to teachers and universities across the United States. Again, thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.